following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
Welcome to the Morgan Man Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Stacey Cole Morgan. Here on the Morgan Man Sports Podcast, we talk Atlanta Falcons news, pre-game predictions, and all other news surrounding the Atlanta Falcons.
Touchdown, Atlanta!
Also on the podcast, we talk Call of Duty League, esports covering Roster Mania, major predictions, COD champs, player trades, and much more to get you ready for every single CDL weekend.
Scuff goes through, and Scuff snaps, wins the one-on-one in optic with the reverse sweep.
If that sounds good with you, put on your Falcons jersey, grab your gaming headset, and let's get this show started. What's going on, you guys? I'm your host, Stacey Cole Morgan, and you are listening to the Morgan Man Sports Podcast here on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Good Pod HQ, or wherever you find your preferred podcasts. Today is a very special day in the podcasting world as we are getting ready for week one action for the Atlanta Falcons as they take on the Carolina Panthers this Sunday, September 10th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in Atlanta, Georgia. And what better way to kick off the NFL regular season by having the guys from Outta Your Falcon Mind podcast. John, what is going on?
Man, I'm ready for Sunday to get here, man. It's been the longest, slowest summer that I can remember because everybody's ready to see what this team's going to look like. So we finally get to see it on Sunday. I can't wait, man. And thanks for having me on the show. And we should say Mike's tried to get his connection to work. It's not working. So if y'all have seen our podcast, y'all know it's John and Mike, but Mike can't make it. So it's just me. But Stacey, either way, man, appreciate you having me on, man.
Oh, yeah, man, for sure. And a shout out to Mike as well. Like I said, we sat here for about maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I was just, letting him get all his connections set up, and nothing on the mic or internet was working for Mike, so we have to go on without him. But John, again, thank you so much for being on the show here. So let's talk about this depth chart first before we start getting into week one action. So the Falcons, September 5th at 6:40 p.m., or just a few minutes ago, actually, at the time that's recording, released their official depth chart. And for wide receiver, I mean, these are for offense. It looks pretty clear. Mac Hollins got the starting position alongside with Drake London. And there's a special kind of like knock here at the position J for Cordell Patterson. John looked this up and I did too, and we were assuming that it was a joker position.
Yep. Yeah, which is awesome because I think that's perfect for CP. He's gonna be running back, he's gonna be wide receiver, he's gonna be tight end, he's gonna be quarterback. Who knows? He can be whatever he wants on offense. He's gonna be kick returner. So yeah, I think that's Arthur Smith just being himself and putting a little wrinkle in there for the depth. Knowing that's going to create this type of talk, and you'll see it all over social media, I'm sure. But yeah, pretty cool. I like it.
And one that really struck me right here is Bijan Robertson getting the starter position over Tyler Algier, knowing that Algier just is coming off 1,000-yard running year. So, what's the big deal with that? I mean, yes, I know we invested an 8th overall pick in Robinson, but still, though, Tyler was a great back for us last year.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I love Tyler, man. That was one of the guys that during the draft process when we were looking at guys, I was like, man, I want this dude on my team. He's the only one I got right, but I got one of them right. So, but I love that dude. He had a great season. Yeah, of course, like you said, you draft a guy at number 8, so you kind of want to see, instant return, as you would say. So yeah, I mean, it's not a huge shock, and I still think, and like Arthur said throughout this whole off season, he didn't really care about numbers and who's 1 and who's 2, and I still think it's going to depend a lot on the opponent, the scheme that we're going up against. And I think Tyler might be one of the type of guys that's used later in games. If we're up, and you just want to pound them, that's the last thing you want to see as a defense is Tyler angry running downhill at you. So I mean, I don't know. I think those guys are on the same page, and I'm okay with it. Like I said, I kind of get it. I mean, either way.
Oh yeah, for sure, definitely. And again, yeah, like credit to like what Arthur Smith said. Everybody's going to have a role to play, regardless of
Mm-hmm.
starter or secondary, whatever the case may be. And of course, we all know that Desmond Ritter is the QB1 for the season, as far as we know right now. But who knows? Midway through the season, Taylor Heineke could be starting quarterback.
Hope not, but yeah.
Yeah, hope not, but definitely the investment with Desmond Ritter is finally here, and we're going to see live action this Sunday. And that's another thing with Desmond Ritter. I forget whose live stream I watched yesterday, but it was an argument between why was Desmond Ritter not named the starting captain for this and for the season, and it was just a back and forth. Like, well, during this off season, everybody talked about his leadership roles and all this and that, and then I'm like, okay, I understand that. Yes, we had the discussion that Desmond Ritter is a leader, but also at the same time, he's still kind of like unproven almost in that kind of sense. And I bet he's just willing to just like, all right, I'm willing to fight for that position to be that, captain. So let's get to work. What do you think of the situation?
100%. Yeah, I thought it was super overblown for folks getting up in arms about it. Because, I mean, you look at it, Arthur has preached no entitlement from the day he walked in the building. And so the last thing he's going to do, in my opinion, is say, okay, I'm going to put the C on this guy's jersey who started 4 games, regardless of how much he may think he's a leader. And I mean, you listen to all the guys talk throughout the offseason, and every one of them mentions it. Like, they all say it. He's a great leader. You can see it. He's a different guy, blah, blah, blah. So they all believe in him. But it's just, if you're looking at offense, you're going to look at Chris Lindstrom and Jake Matthews. That's 2 cornerstones of your offense, the offensive line, no less. That's a huge part of the team and leaders. So that just makes sense, I mean, yeah, if Desmond goes and balls out, has an amazing season, proves himself, next year you may see a C on his jersey. It's just he wants guys to earn it, and like, yeah, I know Mariota had it last year. Well, he was a veteran. He's been in the game for a long time, saying he worked with Arthur before too now. So that was that's how I took that. So yeah, overall, man, I just thought it was kind of just, I mean, I put something on Twitter. I forgot what I said, but another guy responded and said, yeah, I mean, are you going to tell me that Calais is not a leader just because he doesn't have the C on his jersey? And that guy's been helping the young guys out more than hardly anybody, in that locker room this offseason. So, it's just it's a nice thing for the guys, but yeah, I don't care if it's on Desmond's jersey or not.
Oh yeah, definitely. So it's going to be interesting to see what the season unfolds. Hopefully, Desmond Ritter will just absolutely ball out. I think he will.
That's the hope. I do too, man. I've got faith in him, man. We've surrounded him with so many weapons. He's almost going to have to try not to do well. I mean, like, it's like you've got so many options, and I know Arthur's offense isn't the easiest thing, but man, he seems to have grasped it. So, just get the ball in the playmakers' hands, let them do their thing, and if they get to, and the thing is too, people forget he's a 4.5, 4.4 guy. He can run if he needs to, and he's not afraid to. So I hope that he, when he has the opportunity, he takes it. And that's just another thing you have to watch out for as a defense. So.
Oh yeah, exactly. And you just said defense, and looking at this defensive depth chart for starters, this is just absolutely beautiful.
It is, isn't it?
Oh my gosh.
How long has it been, man?
Yes. Oh my Jesus. Like, this should be at least the top 10, like ranked at least number 8 overall defense. Preferably number 1 since
that'd be great.
Atlanta Falcons, but
yeah.
But it's looking like Jeff Okudah definitely got that starter position. So glad to see that D. Alford nickelback.
Yep.
Richie Grant, J.C. Bates, expect it. Troy Anderson, yeah, I mean, these are all guys that you expect to be starters right here. So really not much to really go into on that one. And then, of course, special teams, you got Younghoe Koo. He's our only kicker that we got.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, again, this defense is absolutely beautiful to look at now. So hopefully that results into big time sacks and interceptions on the field week 1 here.
Yeah, I mean that's you're gonna have to get after Bryce. They have an okay offensive line. They had a really rough preseason. They're missing one of their best. I think they're missing their right guard. He's injured at the moment. So, if you can make Bryce uncomfortable and get to him, they don't have a ton of playmakers. I mean, Adam Thielen, you're talking about. DJ Chark has had some injury issues. You got Jonathan Mingo, who's a rookie. And that's tough for him. Hayden Hurst, obviously a guy we know pretty well. So I just don't see them having a ton of weapons as long as we just play our game. I mean, we should, like you said, we should just be able. And the thing is, Bryce is a smart quarterback. He rarely will make bad decisions with the football. So, and now again, that's at the college level. He's got to prove it here at the NFL level. But we have some guys out there that'll jump routes and try to pick them off too. So, yeah, I mean, like you said, looking at the depth chart, man, it's the depth alone is such an improvement from. I mean, our practice squad looks like our A squad from last year. If you're talking about, like comparison, it's crazy. And I haven't heard. I don't know if Jeff Okudah is healthy, is going to play this week. I haven't heard that yet, but it's either way. It's nice to see him number next opposite of AJ here on the depth chart.
Oh yeah, definitely. So this is exciting to see right here. I just already know, like, come Sunday, it's just going to be, like, got my Falcon chain, which, I mean, I know you can't see it right now, but I got the chains.
Oh, yeah, I got one, too, somewhere around here. Yeah.
Having that rocking, and, I'm definitely going to be wearing my Kyle Pitts jersey. I need to get me a new one because right now I'm having to rock the Todd Gurley jersey right now.
I feel like I have to get a Grady this year. I feel like I owe it to Grady to get one of his jerseys. Like, he's been here through good and bad, and I feel like I need a Grady jersey.
Yeah. And Grady definitely deserves a very great year right here, and hopefully a potential maybe defensive player of the year, maybe.
Dude, you never know. Mike, I mean, I'll speak for Mike because he's been saying on our show for weeks now that you're going to see the best year out of Grady Jarrett that you've ever seen. The guy's been essentially on an island by himself. When offenses have to prepare for our defense, it's like, okay, well, we're going to stop Grady and we're good because nobody else can get at the quarterback, and so they'll double, triple team him, and now if you're going to do that, then you're going to set yourself up for a lot of problems because even in the one drive we saw against Cincinnati, they doubled Grady, they doubled Onyemata, and Caden Ellis shot the gap and tackled for loss. So, I mean, you have to pick your poison, when it comes to these guys on the defensive line, which is, again, man, I don't know how long it's been since I don't know if I've ever said it. It's been a long damn time. I can tell you that. So it's nice to have, all those guys in place. So I can't wait to see it just come together on the field because we only got just a taste of it in the preseason, which I understand, but I'm ready for the regular season.
Oh yeah. So going into that situation right now, again, the Carolina Panthers are visiting the Atlanta Falcons this Sunday, September 10th at 1 p.m. And the Atlanta Falcons are favored at a -3.5 right now. That is the spread right now for the Falcons, with the public bet sitting at 51% in favor of Carolina. So, but the Falcons are only getting 49% of the vote. So some people are slightly for Carolina, but some people are like, okay, now there's still hope for Atlanta to win that week 1 matchup. The money line for Atlanta right now is a -190, and it's split down the middle 50%. And the total point spread is 39.5, but it did open up at 43. And people are taking the over at a 56%. Do you see this going over 39.5 points?
Week ones are so tough to predict, right? Because there's no film. You got a rookie, especially this game. You have a rookie quarterback. You've got a guy that's essentially a rookie. You played 4 games. Now we have an entirely new offense. New weapons. I've said before on our show, if everything is rolling correct, I don't know how we don't score 25 minimum per game. Really, I think you could easily get over 30 if we're really doing our thing on offense. So that being said, yeah, I can see it going over 39. I don't know the whole wild card's Bryce, man. That offense for Carolina, we just don't know what they're going to be. It wasn't too impressive during the preseason. I know we didn't see a lot, but I mean, he made some nice throws, but the line also collapsed several times, and he was running for his life a few times. So, it's a tough one to predict in week one. But yeah, I can see it if things roll our way. I mean, I think I guessed on another show earlier this week, and it was just off the top of my head, I said, yeah, 31-17. That was my prediction. And I don't even know that I really believe that, but I could kind of see it. It's a game. They're going to fill each other out. I don't think we're going to shut them out or anything like that. I think they're going to score some points. Yeah, what about you? Do you think it's going to go over, or do you think it's not possible?
Well, I always look at week one in the regular season as an extended preseason.
All right.
Just near about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm with you. Everything really has to be going our way
Mm-hmm.
to really rack up the points. Because Carolina, they weren't really that great during the preseason. Now, granted, we had our moments. We had I figured. Well, let me try to rephrase this. The Falcons actually had a better kind of stance in this preseason than the Panthers did, so that's obviously great. You want to see that, especially being your division rivals.
Mm-hmm.
And but yeah, I mean, Bryce Young, he is smart. He'll be able to pick up these defenses like nothing. But that was college. But can he do it in the NFL? And I feel like that's where Ryan Nielsen, our DC, is gonna draw up those strange plays where like Bryce like what the hell's going on over here, and then as soon as the play happens, like boom, here comes Grady or Calais Campbell for a sack of 5 yards per loss or whatever.
Yeah, right. I mean, and we don't obviously watch a ton of Saints football for good reason. I mean, we watch the 2 games per year that we have to watch, and then anything else, if they're on TV, I'll watch to see them get beat. That's one reason I'll watch it. But we do have a good friend of ours that's a Saints fan, and we were asking him about Nielsen and what he thought about it, and he said, man, that he hated to lose him, number one, but 2, he said, you're going to love it because the dude, and the players have talked about it too. The guy brings pressure from everywhere, and he mixes it up. You don't know where it's going to come from. It's going to be everybody. We saw it in the preseason. Some you have free safety blitzing, you had strong safety blitzing, you had some of the linebackers coming, and it was hell. I think a few times I saw in the last game, Lakel London was out in pass coverage, and he's a big 280-pound defensive lineman. So it's really strange how he dials stuff up. But hey, the more you can do to confuse a quarterback, I'm all about it. But yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely for sure. And we got a little bit of a taste of that during the preseason. Ryan Nielsen definitely had his man in the right position for interceptions, because I noticed that was the one key thing during this preseason was we are getting a lot of interceptions here lately, and that's great because you got the lockdown corner himself, AJ Terrell, who I think is going to thrive in this kind of defense.
Yeah.
And so it's oh my gosh, like I'm so excited right now for it, man. I wish it was Sunday right now.
Oh, I can't wait, man. And that's the thing. I mean, we talked about the same thing with Grady. It's the same deal with AJ. He was kind of on an island by himself last year too. So I mean, there's not a whole lot opposite of him. So it's tough. I mean, say you got Jalen, who's a young safety next to him, and Richie as well, who's still growing in a defense that didn't have a ton of talent. So yeah, you upgrade that with Jesse Bates and Jeff Okudah on the other side, and so yeah, I mean it's all around, man. It's pluses on both sides of the ball.
Yep. And of course I'm looking through right here on the CBS Sports app right here for the money lines and everything, and it's like for the injured reserve list that Jeff Okudah is still questionable for week 1, so hopefully we get an update probably, well, for the people who are listening to the podcast today, hopefully it's today, but for this recording, it'll be for Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Cordell Patterson is undisclosed and still questionable for week 1. So, I mean, those are about the only kind of like injuries that I'm noticing that are going to stand out to really impact us for week 1.
I saw the sorry, I'm interrupt you. I saw an interview earlier with Mike Hughes, and they asked him if he was good for week one, and he didn't really say yes or no. He just was like, we're gonna take it day by day and see, because I think he had a little hip flexor thing down in Miami. Finally came out. That's what happened to him, because everybody was kind of like wondering what happened to Mike Hughes. You know, we knew it was an injury, we didn't know what it was. But so yeah, hopefully, at least hopefully Jeff or Mike, or both. It'd be great if both were, but hopefully one of them will be good to go for week one.
Oh yeah, definitely. So those are some of the like standout injuries that I'm seeing right there. Again, that will potentially impact us, but hopefully everything will go good and they'll just both be able to play this Sunday. So, looking at everything right here, I'm going to pick the Falcons to win this week one matchup. I could see 31-17, maybe even like 38-17 at the most.
Take it all day long.
So definitely that'll be a good one, and Falcons will get their very first home opener win, go and start 1-0 since, oh gosh, 2016-2017 season.
Be first time above 500 in forever. So I mean,
so
amazingly,
it's going to be a wild one for sure, and it'll be like a party near about it in Atlanta for the Falcons to win week one.
It will be.
So
it'll be.
Going into the last part of today's podcast is expectations for the season. So everybody throws these out like, oh, Super Bowl, no matter what. Yes, I would love for the Falcons to win a Super Bowl, especially with this roster, because again, Grady Jarrett deserves it.
Oh man, yeah.
For how long he's been playing, and Arthur Smith to just finally just shut the haters up and say, look, this is my team, bleep, bleep, bleep. So get off our ass.
Yep.
But
have a Deion Sanders moment.
Yeah, definitely. That would be nice. But for expectations for the season, I don't really want to get too much on a high horse right now, but I will say to kind of be more realistic is, first of all, we got to have a winning record to make the playoffs. And I would say at least maybe an 11-6 season. I could see that being more realistic. And the way the Eagles and like Vikings are all set up in the NFC, I could see potentially a kind of like a divisional round exit at most, maybe conference exit. What do you think?
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I mean, I picked them. I said 12-5. I started off at 11-6, and then I got, I guess a little more optimism crept up, and I was like, hey, you know what? I can see one more win. So I went 12-5. But I think 9-10's got to be the floor. I mean, if you look at last year, we're 2 or 3 plays away from 9 or 10 wins. Literally, with the squad that we rolled out there, and Arthur Smith had a 15th ranked offense with 12 weeks of Marcus Mariota. You know what I mean? So all of that, you would think that, okay, we're gonna make a big step forward this year. So, and I know I'm not huge about looking at the schedule and be like, oh, we've got an easy schedule, because I still think it's the NFL. It doesn't matter. I mean, like, of course you're gonna have teams that are better than others, but we've seen it on a year-to-year basis. Hell, we beat the 49ers last year. You're going to lose the teams that you're not supposed to. You're going to beat a few teams you're not supposed to. So that's going to happen. But yeah, I mean, 9-10's got to be the floor to me. Maybe 13's the ceiling if everything just goes right. It was like really right. And but 11-12, yeah, I think that's pretty safe. And playoff wise, depends on the matchup. Eagles and 49ers are a tough. I don't know about Brock Purdy yet. I know what we saw last year, but I know the league also saw that last year. So the league's got some film on him now. So we'll see how well Shanny can dial up some stuff with him over there. But regardless, they're still a good squad. So Philly, San Francisco, like you said, maybe Minnesota in the central there. I can definitely see us winning one game in the playoffs. The second one may be tougher depending on that opponent for sure. If it's Philly or 49ers, that'd be a tough one. I mean, we could do it for sure, but it's just those are pretty 2 loaded squads. So,
oh yeah, definitely. And like with Eagles, you definitely got Jalen Hurts, definitely more motivated than ever. Like his lock screen is him walking out from the Super Bowl with that confetti. like right behind him, and he was like looking down at the ground. Like that right there tells you like he is willing and like fixing to put up like 60 points if he has to on every.
Yeah, he's absolutely. Yeah, he's got no lack of motivation this year at all. And then they just added, DeAndre Swift to that offense, with AJ and Devonta Smith, and it's a brutal offense, and a hell of it. We already know about the defense. It's full of Georgia Bulldogs. So I mean, then they're all really good. So
the Georgia Eagles.
exactly. The Philly Dogs, I think, is what I've seen.
Yeah, Philly Dogs. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
So definitely. Yeah, so that's. But yeah, I feel like that is a more realistic kind of expectations for the Falcons. Like I said, floor 9-10, ceiling 13. I'll be even willing to take it a step forward and say 14 is our ceiling.
Yeah. If you ask my podcast partner, he's going to tell you 17-0 all day long and going Super Bowl. But he is the eternal optimist. So I love him for that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Love Mike on that enthusiasm and definitely that vote of confidence right there. Because I'm like that at work.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Because my produce manager, he's always telling me, he's like, the Falcons just absolutely suck. I was like, no, they don't. We're gonna go undefeated and win the Super Bowl. So
folks that say that don't really pay attention though. They just they're the casual, maybe not even casual fans. They just haven't been paying much. That's what we get with the national stuff. You start seeing more national media now starting to come around like, oh, they really may have something cooking down there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, you and I and other content creators have been telling you all this for 8-9 months now, but that's cool. Y'all take your time. I'm fine being the underdog too. Like, don't come and throw flowers at us yet. Let's go get it done first. But
it's like what Dion said after that post game interview. I got my receipts.
That's right. Oh, we've kept them. We got so many bookmarks. We're ready to roll, man. I told somebody, we were on One Time for the Fan the other day, YouTube show, and I told those guys, I said, man, I'm going on a world shit talking tour if Desmond balls out, and I've got so many receipts to cash, man. It's going to be great. That's what, cross our fingers, it happens. If not, I'm going to be like, you know what? You guys are right. I'm stupid. I'm sorry. That's all I got.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So, oh, man. John, I'm telling you, that was definitely a great time right there. Sunday cannot come soon enough. And so the time this podcast released, we're 2 days away, and we're finally going to see what this Falcons team is all about. So now, since we're at the tail end of this podcast right here, is there anything else that you might want to say, like final thoughts for the Falcons and what you got going on, you and Mike over at Outta Your Falcon Mind?
Yeah, man. Final thoughts on the Falcons. Yeah, let's go, Desmond, man. Let's go show all these people that have doubted you for, I don't know, since you've been drafted, that you can be the guy, and that you can go out there and lead the team and score points and do it on a regular basis, and defense show up, give us a top 10, like you were saying, man, give us a top 10, at least top 15 showing. I think that's very, very doable, and I don't care offensively. I don't care who scores, man. I don't care. I don't need Pitts to get 1,000 yards. I don't need Bijan to go, 1,800. I just want consistent touchdowns. I don't mean spread the ball around. That's fine. As long as we're winning and we're scoring points, man, I don't care how they can divvy it up however they want. But that's, and then just keep doing your thing on special teams, man. Just kicking those field goals and doing your thing. But, and then as far as Mike and I, yeah. So you guys, if you want to watch, we do live streams every. We do them now twice a week at least as the season has started. We'll do a preview show for the upcoming game. So this Thursday night at 7:30 will be our first one, previewing the Panthers game. I think it'll just be Mike and I. Sometimes we'll have some guests on there, but I think it'll just be us this week. And then our recap shows either on Sunday after the game, or my kid plays fall baseball, so that's on Sunday, so we have to either maneuver that show sometimes between Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, but regardless, there'll be a recap show. If you follow us on on Twitter, we're Outta Your Effing Mind on Twitter, and then on YouTube, of course, you can just follow, or you can find us at Outta Your Falcon Mind. If you come by, watch the show, drop a subscribe for us, we much appreciate it. And we, like I said, we'll bring content year round, and we also put our podcast, our shows out on the audio platform, so Spotify, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, Google, wherever you get your podcast, you can find us there as well. So, but it's a typically we always say we try to keep it to an hour. It never works. It's normally like an hour and a half. We end up talking about it. Depends on the content, of course, of the show, but the chat will get involved, and then that just takes it to another different level. So we've got a few different things lined up for the season, though. So yeah, if you guys come by, man, feel free to, like I said, get in the chat and join the conversation and have some fun with us, man. We always have a good time with it. So, and yeah, like I said, man, thanks again for having me on the show, man.
Oh yeah, for sure, and definitely the live streams that I've joined in and commented, guys. Whenever it's just y'all or anybody else that you invite on, it is an electrifying show, and I get a good laugh sometimes, and
oh yeah,
it's informative too, and that's definitely what I love about y'all on Out of Your Falcon Mind is y'all just very chill, and I can definitely appreciate that.
Much appreciated, man. That means a lot because we had no idea what we were doing when we started it. So we've came a long way from those early couple of shows that we did. So yeah, we keep trying to get better and finding ways to improve and do a lot. We do a lot of self scouting, as Arthur Smith would say. So yeah, we trying to get better ourselves. But yeah.
But yeah, so guys that listen to me here on Morgan Man Sports, definitely check out Out of Your Falcon Mind. All of the socials, mostly Twitter and the YouTube and the podcast links will be down in the description below for you guys to check that out. And yeah, so it's going to be a great season right here. Out of Your Falcon Mind is definitely going to be pumping out that content, just like your boy here with every Friday, and just going to start trying to get back into the social media rhythm of posting more TikToks, and because I've been
it's a grind, dude.
Yes, definitely it's a grind.
You need a partner because that's how we split it up. So I do Twitter for the most part, and then Mike does TikTok and Instagram. So we do have that as well. Yeah, it's just Out of Your Fucking Mind. And Mike does some hilarious stuff on those. So if y'all want to check that out, and I will quickly plug. Mike did a video called 10 Stages of Being a Falcons Fan, and if you haven't seen it, then you must go. It's pinned to our YouTube channel. It is hilarious. It's his best work, in my opinion. But it's a fantastic skit. And we're closing in on 1,000 subscribers. So yeah, if you guys pop in, man, hit that subscribe for. We much appreciate it. But yeah, man, you should, like I said, that it's a job and a half, man, to just try to do the social media by itself.
Oh, Lord, yes, because I know it took me, oh gosh, like 30 minutes just editing the TikTok video that I made. Like, did you know who played for the Atlanta Falcons part 1? And I did like Brett Favre. Because not many people know that Brett Favre played for the Atlanta Falcons. And that's honestly shocking.
Drafted him in 91. It's crazy.
So yeah, definitely got to get back on that grind. But definitely keeping up the podcast at least is the biggest priority. But getting back on that social media content will be next on that list. So, but guys, thank you so much. I hate that Mike couldn't join us right here. But
there'll be a next time. We'll figure out those issues next time.
Oh yeah, and definitely we'll get him on and get his thoughts and everything for the Atlanta Falcons. Maybe like a mid-season kind of like recap.
Yeah, man. Anytime you want us, just let us know. And we'll be there.
Alrighty, but guys, hope y'all enjoyed. If you didn't, make sure to like button wherever you are listening from. Definitely we're hoping to have a video version of this on YouTube, since this is a special occasion that I rarely even get guests on the show, and because I mainly just solo this, but yeah, drop us a like. Follow me here on Morgan Man Sports, because not only do I talk Atlanta Falcons, I talk Call of Duty League as well. And next week I should have another guest actually on the show, talking Call of Duty League right there as well. So we're trying to mix things up and get the content, various on just all occasions right here. And 5-star the podcast, it definitely helps out and gets me more guests like Out of Your Falcon Mind right here.
There you go.
So
yeah, definitely, man. If y'all listening, drop my man a 5-star review for sure, because it's easy to do. It only takes you half a second, but man, it really helps us out. Helps us get more. It helps more people find us when they're searching for Falcons or even COD or whatever you're trying to find. Man, it just pushes up one more notch on that list. So it's always greatly appreciated.
And for supporters of the podcast, definitely I got merch out now. It's only one t-shirt design, but hey, more will be coming in the near future. Actually, I'm actually working on a design right now, so definitely check that out Of course, all that will be in the description below. And thank you again to Outta Your Falcon Mind, John and Mike, for the continuous content and being on today's podcast. So thank you guys, and rise up.
Rise up, baby.
Thank you for listening to this Belly Up Sports Podcast Network product. Some said we go belly up, so we made it our name, and we're still here.